For lesson 6.3 background information, I want to compare a one-step equation to a two-step equation, just so that you can see the difference. You're really only doing one more thing, but you're still doing the same thing as you did in one-step equations for 6.2. So we take a look here. We have negative 2x equals 34. So this means that we have a coefficient of negative 2. We're going to multiply that by whatever variable x is, and then we have a constant of 34 on this side of the equation. Since this is multiply, we have to do the opposite or the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to take negative 2 and I'm going to divide it by itself. But what I do on one side of the equation, I do on the other side. So I have to divide this by negative 2 also. So we know that anything divided by itself is going to give us 1. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So that's 1x equals, and then 34 divided by 2 is 17, but a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 1x equals negative 17, or we simply write that as x equals negative 17. One step, that's all we did, was just one step right here. When we look over here at two-step equations, we have two things that we have to do. We have to get rid of the constant, so that's the first step. So this is a positive 150, so I'm going to subtract 150. 150 minus 150 gives me 0, so 0 minus 35g equals, and then what I do on this side, remember what I do on one side of the equation I have to do on the other? Well, I have to subtract 150 over here also. 45 minus 150 is going to give me a negative 105. Negative 35g equals negative 105. So now the second step, so let me put this as my first step. Now my second step is I have to get rid of my coefficient. So to get rid of, this is a multiplication. To get rid of a multiplication, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide by the same number, negative 35. And what I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So I divide that by negative 35. So negative 35 divided by negative 35 is 1. So I'm left with g. Negative 105 divided by negative 35 is equal to 3. And a negative divided by a negative, I'm left with a positive. So g is going to equal 3. And if you remember, this came from the Your Turn in question 4 on page 187. Difference between one-step and two-step equations. One step, you're only doing one, whereas a two-step equation, you're doing the exact same thing, but you have to do it twice. Hope this helps out, and have a good day.